here's Brody Brazil.
You know, as I'm recording this, we are precisely one game into the 2025 NBA Finals, and it was a good game. Halliburton and the Pacers, in the end, they squeaked it out against the Thunder in Oklahoma City. But already, there are some fans who are upset about the presentation of the NBA Finals. They are frustrated by kind of what they're not seeing, what they expected to see from the NBA Finals, but what they're not seeing. And I should also step back and clarify this. It's not about the matchup. I do understand that Oklahoma City and the Indiana Pacers, those are both small market NBA teams. There's 28 different NBA markets. The reason there's not more is that there's obviously two teams in select markets like Los Angeles and New York. But of the 28 different NBA markets, you've got Oklahoma City as the 26th out of 28, and Indiana is the 22nd biggest out of 28. So it's a rare situation. I think once in a while, you need two Davids instead of two Goliaths or a David and a Goliath. It's fine that it's like this. It's not the same players. Yeah, there's no Curry, there's no LeBron, there's no Durant, Giannis, there's no Doncic, there's no Tatum. I get it. This matchup doesn't feature the usual suspects and maybe the most prominent suspects, but the bottom line is it can still make for a very good basketball series. We've kind of already seen that in one game. But people are not complaining necessarily about the matchup, the players, any of that. It's more about the NBA and the TV network, ABC and ESPN, how they're presenting the game. Let's start from the NBA side of it. This is the NBA Cup specialty courts that they had this season in both Oklahoma City and Indiana. The in-season tournament, right? They came up with this a couple years ago, and you've often seen it likely on television, like, whoa, what's going on with these games and my screen? And is the court really that blue or black or orange or pink or purple or whatever? Like, they make these crazy courts just for the NBA Cup, which is just an in-season tournament, right? Like, I think people are taking it more seriously than when it initially came out, but nobody's ever going to put this up to the NBA playoffs and most certainly the NBA Finals. But if they can go out of their way to have every team with a totally different hardwood court for these specialty games, then why aren't they doing it for the NBA Finals? Like, I see it on the screen, by the way, presented by YouTube TV. Love the fact that the platform and the company that I'm on here with you right now is the presenting sponsor, but in terms of placement, like, where is it even on the court? Now, I understand they superimpose a lot of things on the court, but it's not just about the television audience. How about somebody going to the game here, either at Paycom Center or at the Fieldhouse in Indiana? I want to see it on the court. I want to show up and know that this is the NBA Finals. Like, make it big, make it bold, hit me over the head with it. And not just superimpose it, put it there in person so that any fan who's actually there can also appreciate and enjoy the moment. And yeah, play this up just a little bit more. I can't believe there's nothing different or special about that court. And if you're asking, well, what do you mean? This is what they used to do. And actually, the Larry O'Brien Trophy at center court like this, that's only a newer thing. Like, when I was growing up as a kid, it just had the NBA Finals written on the court. And oftentimes, it had like the 1995 NBA Finals. It had specifically the year to go along with the Finals logo. So the trophy at center court was one thing, but just put that on the court. Big and bold, in a very prominent place. That's all people are really asking for here. So when they watch the game, it has a different feel. It's blatant to the casual observer. Look, I'm a basketball person. I mean, I'm watching, so I know it's the NBA Finals, but does everybody at a sports bar know, oh, this is the Finals? Put it on the screen. And everybody's saying, well, it's on the score bug. Yeah, but it's so tiny at the very bottom on that strip. The NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV. It's so small, you can't see it. Put it on the court. There's also the patch situation. Like, here's LeBron's Miami Heat NBA Finals jersey from however many years ago. The patch is prominent on the front of the jersey. Now, they still do have a patch. Some people have said, well, they've done away with the patch. Actually, they haven't done away with it, but they've put it in a place that, like Porzingis here, was this from last year? They put it in a place where you just weren't expecting it, and it does seem a little bit buried. It's now on the back of the jerseys. Why are you messing with this? When they added a patch on the front, you're like, okay, we like this change. This seems special. This seems more, bespoke to the opportunity. That's great. And then you took it and put it somewhere else. And for what? And so there's been a lot of complaints, a lot of backlash on social media. Here's Chris saying, everything about this NBA Finals presentation looks like a regular season game. I agree. Starting lineups just on a quick graphic. I'll get to that in just a second. No trophy or finals on the court. No patches on the jerseys. See, people couldn't even find the patches. Just a tiny logo on the score bug. It used to be better. And I agree, Chris. As a product of the 80s and 90s, I totally agree. Sean says ESPN ABC doesn't even show starting lineups during the finals. Can't wait for the NBA on NBC to come back. And the crazy thing is, right, like when it was Jordan and the Bulls and boom, boom, right? Sorry. They used to show the intros on TV. It was part of the hype factor. And even if you were a fan of the opposing team, you wanted to see the Bulls come out and get introduced, and then your team get booed and introduced. It was just all part of the equation that obviously ESPN has decided from an editorial standpoint, they're not going to show that anymore. If ESPN ABC didn't put up a small NBA Finals graphic on the screen, Zach says, you would think this was just a regular season game. I can't disagree. The Hood Therapist. It's the NBA Finals, and the NBA didn't even show the national anthem, pregame intros, no logo on the court or jerseys. These are little things, but they're so important for the experience. I totally agree. And I'm going to get to that in my takeaways in a second. Little things add up, especially when you're expecting them. Matt saying this is the third year in a row that ESPN ABC's presentation has made the finals feel like a Tuesday game in January. Right? And I know there's also been some commentary and criticism about the announce team and how they're relatively new in this and how there may be even more transition, like when the NBA crew from TNT comes over to be on ESPN airwaves next year. So who knows what the shuffle up is going to look like. Some guy named J.J. Watt. Sounds familiar. Is he a sports commentator? I'm kidding. J.J. Watt even chipping into the conversation, as he often does on social media. Put the Larry O'Brien back at center court and bring the cursive writing back too. Make the finals look and feel like the finals. Yeah. I mean, he's got it right. And again, a lot of people say put the trophy back. The fact that like I said it and he said it, to call it the Larry O'Brien, I think that's when you're on the next level. So good to hear from J.J. Watt. All right, these are my takeaways. I agree with everybody who said that the little details all add up, and especially when you were expecting them, and especially on the biggest of stages and moments. And the problem I have with all of this, like if ESPN could say, well, it costs more money to throw the logo on there, or it costs more money to put the patches, or the NBA could say, we're cost cutting. Then you look at it and say, I don't like it, but at least you gave me a good reason, a reason at all. I'm going to disagree with it, but okay, at least you have a position on this. None of this is cost cutting. This was just somebody's editorial decision. And you know what? Maybe before the series comes to Indiana, maybe they're already working on it. Decals or whatever they can do, or resewing patches. Maybe the NBA is reacting. I'll get to that in a second. But none of this was because of even money. It's because somebody had a bad idea or a bad opinion that turned into a bad idea that everybody approved. So that's kind of the most frustrating part. Some things you just don't mess with. All these little things are part of it. And I do agree that even something as simple as seeing the national anthem, seeing the players being introduced, just for the finals, it makes it feel like you're at the game. You have the ability and the resources to do that, but instead, maybe you want to put your pregame crew on television for longer. You want to play more commercials during the anthem time and during the starting lineup introduction time. I get it. So maybe some of it is for money, but a lot of it, like put the logo on the court, that's an editorial decision. None of this is a difficult fix, right? So the things that are being discussed here, the NBA could literally change that. Like game 2 is coming up here. They could change it by game 2. They could change it by game 3, 4, 5, whatever. Or they could change it starting next year and permanently and never go back. But I do think that Commissioner Adam Silver and the NBA, they've heard about this. They understand this. I do think that they will respond to this. Right? Small details, small thing, but I've seen a lot of fans frustrated in the last couple of days after they saw game one. They just felt like this isn't sitting right. So do you agree? How do you feel about all this? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there, and also hit that subscribe button while you're there, because I would love to see you back here next time. I would really love to get you subscribing to this channel. See you next time.